because I finally figured it out. I've been sitting here in this podcast studio, and it's hot under these lights, and I have turned down the AC. I have done all that I know to do. But the thing that I also know to do is to keep, plugging at it until I figure it out. I just got the sweetest message from a friend who said, "I so love you, Lex. I'm proud of you." And I love that I have people who are watching me and who are cheering me on. Every day I pray Psalm 23, and I pray it in the way that I understand the psalm to be leading us. The poetry and the prayer to lead us. God is our guide who lays us down, like God who's an intentional shepherd. Intentional concerning everything concerning us. We are laid down in verdant, aesthetically pleasing spaces suited for a good respite. God cares about our rest. God leads us along the path of least resistance. Sheep are scared of moving waters, and so the shepherd leads them along the still waters so that they will cooperate. God does the exact same thing with us. God leads us along the path of least resistance. God restores our core so that what emanates from us is good, bountiful, it's a blessing, it's useful. God leads us in the path of righteousness because we bear God's name. God is very protective of God's name, and it's not going to, let us go any kind of way to get there. I mean, there are a lot of paths that will get us, quote, there, but not all of them will bring glory to God's name. God leads us in the path of righteousness because we bear God's name. God is fiercely protective of God's name. When we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we'll fear no evil. God is with us, and that's not a little thing. That's the whole game. God's rod and staff protects, comforts, keeps us, guides us. But then this next verse is the one that I kind of park at for a minute. It says, "You prepare a table or banquet." Some translations said banquet. I like the phrase banquet. So you prepare a banquet before us in the presence of our enemies. And I remember when I was in seminary, I'd asked one of my professors, we know who our neighbor is. Jesus gives us the parable of the Good Samaritan, the story of the Good Samaritan, to illustrate who is our neighbor. But we're also directed to love our enemy. And I was like, who is our enemy? We didn't get that example. And he said to me, our enemy is the person who actively works for or privately roots for our demise. And so every day when I pray that verse, when I pray Psalm 23 and I get to that verse, I say, "You prepare a table, a banquet before me in the presence of those who actively work for or privately root for my demise." And it's a humbling admission that although I got this beautiful text message from my friend saying, "I see you, I love you, I'm proud of you," to know that not everybody feels that way can be so sad, because I don't believe that, it's like there's no lack. There's hoarding, but there's abundance. Like there's more than enough for all of us to be out here, like getting it in and doing exactly what we're called to do, doing the good works that God prepared in advance for us to do. So it makes me sad to know that while I have the person who's cheering for me, I also have the person who is like, not that one. But that's okay. They may be in the audience or they may be at the banquet table with me. But what they can't do is to deny the work of the Good Shepherd. So I'm here riffing in the studio, testing out mics, prepping for some good stuff. But I thought I would record this, and may it be so for you and all that you love. Ashe.